Those concerned are especially relevant here, where DOJ is investigating a website that served as a hub for the planning and exercise of First Amendment protected activities. Quote, DreamHost did the right thing. It stood up for its users. So good for them. And, you know, I know for a fact that I visited that website. I remember seeing it. It was all over social media.
I
clicked on it.
don't recall having heard of this website until reading the story a couple of days ago about this warrant.
No, I do remember it because it was one of the most prominent ones out there. I clicked on it, looked at it. Not the kind of thing I was interested, but I was pretty impressed with how organized it was and how many different things they had going on. I know that there's a lot of that stuff out there. So I don't know, Daryl, you use or have used Slack in the past?
They probably
Yes.
pinpoint
Yeah.
to how many times one IP has visited the same website.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, first, they have my IP address because I visited. Slack is a tool used by teams to organize. And probably right before the inauguration, I was invited by one of my leftist friends to join this particular Slack. And it is just hundreds of groups organizing different types of protests and things like
We
that.
actually used Slack for the Johnson Weld campaign.
Yeah.
Slack is an internet relay chat service.
It's kind of
of
like
sorts.
Telegram, but a
Yeah.
little bit different.
But it was
completely different.
But again-
Internet relay chat is something that's been around for a really long time. DreamHost goes to court tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have an update on this. This is Free Talk Live.
Have you ever thought about mining Bitcoin? Did the costs, constant equipment upgrades, and maintenance scare you off? Do you want to make Bitcoin every day in the same mining pool that Ian and I do? Pool.bitcoin.com. There's a 100% uptime guarantee. The website's easy to use, and you can calculate what you're going to make right there on the website at pool.bitcoin.com. Help steer Bitcoin towards the liberating currency that Satoshi Nakamoto meant it to be. I'm not just making money at pool.bitcoin.com. I'm doing activism while I sleep. Pool.bitcoin.com.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, August 17th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.07 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,285 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 5.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,424. Antiwar.com reports reckless speculation about a North Korean military attack on the U.S. island territory of Guam has continued despite North Korea making clear the missile test fire they were designing only meant to send missiles to the waters off the coast of Guam. Now, even that looks unlikely, though some early reports suggested North Korea was likely to move forward with the test as soon as the plan was finished. The plans were never approved by Kim Jong-un, and now the plans are finished and Kim is still not acting. State media suggest suggest Kim is holding back the possibility of such tests as a response to future U.S. acts, but that is already leading to Western media speculation that Kim is backing down for fear of U.S. retaliation. Whatever the reason, the threat to Guam was clearly overstated, and the fact that missiles aren't hitting the water around the island presents a golden opportunity for both sides to back away from the military confrontation they both seemed escalating towards last week and towards serious diplomacy. Embracing this opportunity may be difficult for the Trump administration, as they've rejected previous diplomatic overtures originating from China and South Korea, primarily on the grounds that they're diplomatic in nature. The first impulse of many in the administration will likely to be claim victory over North Korea if the missiles aren't launched, which in turn will provoke North Korea into feeling they have to fire them just to avoid showing weakness, particularly as the U.S. advances towards another military exercise in South Korea. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports computer science students at the University of Washington have found a way to remotely hack into people's personal devices such as cell phones and smart TVs to track individual movement, raising serious security concerns, according to a report by the university. The hacking method uses Covert Band, a software program the students created, which essentially turns smart devices into sonar systems. Once hacked into a device, Covert Band plays repeating pulses that are able to track a person's movement and location, similar to how a submarine sonar device works. According to a report from the University of Washington, Covert Band can also decipher what types of movement a person is making, including pumping arms, jumping, and supine pelvic tilts. In March, WikiLeaks released documents that allege the CIA currently has methods of hacking into smart devices. The UW Students report argues that the ability to do so is not just in the realm of high-level government intelligence operatives. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the city of Baltimore removed 4 Confederate monuments before dawn on Wednesday, working quickly so the city could avoid protests like the one originating by white nationalists that turned deadly in Charlottesville, Virginia over the weekend. The statues, including one of General Robert E. Lee and another of General Thomas Stonewall Jackson, were taken off their bases in Wyman Park Dell beside the Baltimore Museum of Art and carried away on a flatbed truck. Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh said that she and City Council decided to remove the monuments quickly and quietly. In Los Angeles on Wednesday, the United Daughters of the Confederacy asked the Hollywood Forever Cemetery to remove a monument that honored Confederate veterans. Cemetery spokesman Theodore Hovey said the organization made the request after hundreds of people demanded the monument, erected in 1925, be taken away. In Birmingham, Alabama, Mayor William Bell ordered workers on Tuesday to obscure a Confederate monument in a city park using wooden boards. The state attorney general, Stephen Marshall, sued the city in response, saying the barriers broke a state law passed in May that banned local governments from moving or altering historical monuments that have been on public property for more than 40 years. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to locals waiting for a 66 bus in downtown Chicago last night, a young couple was making out in the passenger shelter like they were in Paris or something. Onlookers spoke to reporters about the pair, who carried on their passionate embrace for over 20 minutes, as if they were in some sort of goddamn candlelit bistro tucked away in Montmartre.
It's been almost a half an hour and they're still going at it. It's like they think they're sitting on a sun-dappled picnic blanket in the Tuileries Gardens. I mean, where the hell are we? The Champs-Élysées?
The pair's marathon makeout session, which took place in downtown Chicago and not, as frustrated onlookers emphasized, on a cobblestone street in the city of lights, featured intense gazing, deep tongue kissing, and other gestures of affection typically reserved for a couple strolling down the banks of the Seine River.
You know, for a second there, I honestly thought we had all been transported to Parc Monceau, drinking flutes of champagne on a wonderful summer afternoon while being serenaded by a Parisian accordion player. But no, we're at a bus stop in in Chicago.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Kicking off hour number 2. In studio, it's Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Chris brought in this very strange story that I read a couple days ago, and I thought it was from either UPI or Reuters. Turned out that my source was antiwar.com, and they actually link over to a blog post from DreamHost being the web hosting company that was served about a month ago with a warrant from the Department of Justice, where the DOJ wants all kinds of information on 1.3 million visitors to the website disruptj20.org. And, you know, this from a legal standpoint is very concerning.
Right.
Because it basically amounts to nothing more than, I don't even think you could call it thought crime, because it's not necessarily just punishing somebody for having an incorrect thought. It's punishing somebody potentially for visiting the wrong website, even if it was, let's say it was Donald Trump's secretary that, I want to see what's going on this Disrupt J20 site that I'm hearing people talk about.
Well, I'm not kidding. It was me. I clicked on the link. I've been to this website.
You're one of those
Hold on.
people.
I'll do it again right now. There, I'm another one.
Oh, God.
But the twisted theory is this. Somebody committed violence at one of the Trump, during the Trump inauguration.
Right.
And that act, that demonstration was published and broadcast on Disrupt J20. Therefore, that person might have gone there. Therefore, let us know everybody who went there so we can see if we can identify which one it was.
Okay,
it's kind of like the same thing. You could argue that, let's say the president changed, right? And it was we had a leftist president right now. Well, then that person could say, hey, this guy that hit all the people in Charlottesville was part of the alt-right, so now we're going to request, some alt-right site, and we want everybody that visited it, right?
Sure.
So when you look at it from this is why it's so important, as a libertarian, that we defend even the worst of the worst rights, because when you sacrifice someone else's rights, you're sacrificing your own, right? So if you think it's okay for, the federal government to track down all these quote unquote Nazis that visited a certain site, then you're also saying it's okay for the Trump administration to track down all the anti-Trump protesters that visited this site in question.
Right.
And so this is why, I think it's an important conversation that we have when you get people that are not like sympathizing with Nazis, saying let them have their rally, but saying that, look, we want, freedom of religion, freedom of, to speak. We want everybody to have freedom. And in order to do that, unfortunately, it means protecting the rights of people that say things that can offend our feelings.
Right. And you're not going to like some of the things you hear or some of the things you read. And this has been, I'll call it an American tradition going back to the revolution and why we sort of started as a country under the system that we have. Some of the founding fathers recognized that these rights, if you could apply them to a group you didn't like, you could certainly have them applied to you. And that's exactly what you're saying. You're
and this
exactly
isn't the
right.
first offensive speech that we've heard with the protecting the First Amendment. You also have the people outside of abortion clinics screaming at people that they're murderers. You have, the people saying homosexuality is a sin. I mean, there's always been people saying one thing, saying another, and offending people, and
right,
you know what I mean? But it's a matter of, in my opinion, having thick skin, and it crosses the line when people get violent.
This warrant is not about what someone said. This warrant is about the visitors that went to a website to read what someone else wrote.
Well, yeah, and the supposition by the government that if they went there, then maybe you went to this rally and maybe you caused violence.
And
you
we'll
broke
get
the law.
We'll get into the statement from DreamHost here in just a second. But first, the phones are actually to Skype. We've got Stefan calling in from Ohio. Stefan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I'd like to talk about elections.
All right.
Okay.
I had been speaking to somebody about, the primary elections that had happened last year, and we were discussing the concept of open primaries and, mixed primaries. And a lot of people seem to be, an advocate for these open primary systems. And in my view, it seems like it's just a way for any old person to hijack a party just because they get enough independents to vote for them. What do you think of that?
So, before answering the question, this is one of those things to where it's always good to sort of define the terms. So when you say open primary versus mixed primary, can you define those?
Open primary is basically when anybody from any party, they have this in Utah, I believe, and a lot of other states. No matter what party you're in, or if you're an independent, you can you can choose to vote in any party's primary during primary elections. Whereas mixed primaries, you can just swap your affiliation that same day and vote in that primary, as opposed to closed primaries where you have to be a part of the party you're voting in.
Right. So my thoughts on primaries is they should not be taxpayer funded. That's my thought.
Because it's a private political party holding it.
Political parties, and the courts consistently rule that political parties are private organizations.
Right.
So I believe that private organizations should be responsible for funding their own method of choosing their nominees.
Are you talking about a system like what the Reform Party used to have, where it was all mail-in ballots and it wasn't, state sanctioned or state run?
That's one possibility of how they could do it.
I mean, the way I look at it is I think that, right now we have two major parties, and we've got major party status as the Libertarian Party in quite a few states thanks to this past election. And there's other parties that are out there and coming up, and it's difficult with a lot of government regulation. But I think having maybe some parties having open primaries and others having closed one will kind of allow us to see what works and what doesn't work over, as smaller parties start making more of an impact and a splash in politics.
The more the merrier to me. Daryl, this is an election law question regarding New Hampshire. So we have what I guess you would describe as open primary.
Semi-open.
So when I go into
somebody,
the polls,
so what? Let me define the term here. So if you're a registered Democrat, then on election day you would not be able to change your party registration in New Hampshire to something else to vote in that primary.
Right.
So if you're a registered Democrat or registered Republican or registered Libertarian, that is the primary that you are allowed to vote in. If you're a registered undeclared voter, meaning that you are not a registered voter with one of the three recognized political parties in New Hampshire,
which I am,
then you would be able to choose which primary you want. Now, there is a provision in the statute that allows a party to close their primaries in New Hampshire. And again, this is something varies from state to state on whether parties are able to close their primaries or open based on whatever the state dictates. But the problem, again, is the government should not be funding primaries at all. So the question of do I support open primaries versus closed primaries? I don't support taxpayer-funded primaries.
Right. And by that logic, they should be able to hold whatever kind of primary they want to, since they should be paying for it. If they're paying for it, what I don't understand is why the state legislature is passing laws that tell private organizations how they will conduct their primary.
Right, and that's because the political parties are not paying for the primaries. The state government is paying for those primaries.
Yeah, but do you think that, let's say the Libertarian Party had open primaries, do you think that it would...
Which, unfortunately, we do.
We do.
Unfortunately,
in New Hampshire or nationwide?
It's a state-by-state issue. So in New Hampshire, unfortunately, it's an open primary.
Oh, wow.
Stefan, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your thoughts on primaries? The DOJ serving web host with warrants?
Get the stinky dog away from me. Bad breath and bad gas. Petey stopped eating. All his hair fell out.
Itching, licking, missing fur.
At least $5,000 in vet bill. Creams, antibiotics, sprays.
No results.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com. If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy. The omega-3 fatty acids. Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dinovite is nutrition.
The shedding is stopped and the itching is stopped.
Her coat is now soft, it's silky, it's healthy and shiny and glossy.
She's got life. She's got energy.
Tons of energy, no more bad smells. Dinovite's the bomb. Dinovite is the best thing that's ever happened to my dogs, besides me, of course.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Investing is a long-term process. How many times can you think of in the last decade that the stock market has destroyed retirement funds for people just like you and me? For your existing IRA, you need the security that gold has provided for centuries. Remember, gold has never been worth zero. Capital Gold would like to introduce you to the Home Storage Gold IRA. It's a self-directed IRA set up with all the protection and tax benefits of an LLC. But the big difference in this IRA is you invest in gold and you hold it in your possession. You can't do that with stocks. That's security. You can transfer any type of IRA hassle-free in days. Please call right now and learn more, and we'll waive the $500 setup fee and give you a free safe to store your gold. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And you don't need money to do business on Symbi.com. It's a slick, easy-to-use marketplace where you trade your talents for other people's services and abilities. You can forget the old economy. This is your economy. Symbi.com. You won't believe the diversity of services on Symbi.com. Hundreds of thousands of people are acting within the symbiotic economy. Go get an account at Simbi.com. That's SIMBI.com. Take a look around. Post your services. Simbi.com. We're talking about the situation here with DreamHost, where the Department of Justice served them with a warrant about a month ago asking for information on 1.3 million IP addresses of visitors to the website disruptj20.org. And DreamHost actually posted a announcement, a blog post on their site a couple of days ago, and I want to read this. It says, for the past several months, DreamHost has been working with the Department of Justice to comply with the legal process, including a search warrant, and they link over to that where you can read the warrant for yourself, seeking information about one of our customers' websites. At the center of the request is disruptj20.org, a website that organized participants of political protest against the current U.S. administration. While we have no insight into the affidavit for the search warrant, those records are sealed. The DOJ has recently asked DreamHost to provide all information available to us about this website, its owner, and more importantly, its visitors. DreamHost, like many online service providers, is approached by law enforcement regularly to provide information about customers who may be the subject of criminal investigations. These types of requests are not uncommon. Our legal department reviews and scrutinizes each request and, when necessary, rejects and challenges vague or faulty orders. You would be shocked to see just how many of these challenges we're obligated to mount each year. Chris Gazarian, general counsel for DreamHost, has taken issue with this particular search warrant for being a highly untargeted demand that chills free association and the right of free speech afforded by the U.S. Constitution. The request from the DOJ demands that DreamHost hand over 1.3 million visitor IP addresses, in addition to contact information, email content, and photos of thousands of people, in an effort to determine who simply visited the website. They note here, our customer has also been notified of the pending warrant on the account. That information could then be used to identify any individual who used the site to exercise and express political speech protected under the Constitution's First Amendment. That should be enough to set alarm bells off in anyone's head. This is, in our opinion, a strong example of investigatory overreach, say that one 3 times fast, and a clear abuse of government authority. As we do in all such cases where the improper collection of data is concerned, we challenged the DOJ on its warrant and attempted to quash its demand for this information through reason, logic, and the legal process. Instead of responding to our inquiries regarding the overbreadth of the warrant, the DOJ filed a motion in the Washington, D.C. Superior Court asking for an order to compel us to produce the records. So what you have here, and there's more to their statement, but what you have here is the DOJ sending a very broad search warrant to a web hosting company. The web hosting company challenging the warrant, saying, hey, this is too broad, narrow the scope a little bit, explain to us why you need the information on 1.3 million IP addresses. And instead of responding and saying, here's the reasons we need the information, the DOJ filed a motion in the court to compel DreamHost to hand over the records.
Do you think DreamHost is going to cave?
Well, DreamHost has a court hearing tomorrow, so we'll see if they wind up being compelled to hand over the records. Then basically their options, as I see it, and as I understand things, their options are to either hand over the records or face some kind of contempt of court charge. Possibly they could go the LeVar Levison that ran LavaBit, where he just shut down.
Yeah,
he just shut down the service.
Yep, said
instead of complying. But
Can they still throw him in jail for that?
I think he may still possibly be facing some kind of contempt charge for that.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know that was the talk early on.
So then it's, you shut down the service, which means you destroyed the evidence that we were seeking. So, they don't really have any good options here that are in their hands. Right now, their fate is in the hands of the Superior Court judge in Washington, D.C. The statement continues, subheader, our opposition. Last Friday, Mr. Gazarian, again the legal counsel for DreamHost, with the help of his legal team and outside counsel, filed legal arguments in opposition of the DOJ's request for access to this trove of personally identifiable information. This motion is our latest salvo in what has become a month-long battle to protect the identities of thousands of unwitting Internet users. Mr. Gazarian will attend a court hearing on the matter on August 18th in Washington, D.C. We've been working closely with the Electronic Frontier Foundation and their counsel throughout the process. They've been nothing but supportive and helpful throughout, and we're honored to have them in our corner. While the EFF is not representing us in this case, they do understand our arguments and have been lending professional support.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the opposition to the government search warrant is a really good read. You can find it, I think, on the EFF.org website. But
they also have it linked from this post that I will share on the Facebooks and the Twitters for Free Talk Live.
Yeah, but I just want to share the first couple sentences. And
go
this
ahead.
is from their introduction. But where a search warrant endangers First Amendment interests, the warrant must be scrutinized with, quote, particular exactitude under the Fourth Amendment, unquote. The First Amendment is often inconvenient, but that's besides the point. Inconvenience does not absolve the government of its obligation to tolerate speech. And a lot of these are quotes from various
previous
decisions,
court rulings
and decisions, and they're absolutely right. Fishing expeditions. It's sad that we toss that phrase around because the government participates in so many of them.
Right, and again, it should be noted that the Department of Justice is not asking for information on the operators of DisruptJ20.org. They're not asking for specific information on, we know that this person visited this site and then did this thing.
Right.
Help us out here. They're saying of the 1.3 million people that visited this website, whether they did anything wrong after that or not,
right,
we want all of this information. And
they want Chris's information.
That is absolutely ridiculous, and it will set a horrible legal precedent if allowed. Your calls and thoughts on this or whatever is on your mind. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Welcome aboard. Your new science fiction adventure is ready to launch. Discover an amazing journey at GalaxyQuestBooks.com. Start a new sci-fi adventure with the Guardian series, a classic sci-fi mystery that starts 500 years in the future. From author D. Arthur Gussner. Series available from Barnes & Noble or Amazon as paperback or ebooks. GalaxyQuestBooks.com, where the adventure begins.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your AMP will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit did your nerves spike. You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Daryl.
And it's Heather.
And Chris.
And we've just spent a good bit of time talking about the Department of Justice warrant / subpoena / motion to compel DreamHost to hand over information on 1.3 million IP addresses of visitors to the website disruptj20.org. There's a hearing scheduled in federal court in D.C. tomorrow, so hopefully sometime soon there's an update on that. And hopefully the court does the right thing and stands up for, the rights of website users. But I'm not going to hold my breath here because courts historically make really, really bad decisions. And again, this would be horrible precedent if allowed to stand. Your calls on that or whatever is on your mind. Let's go to Rusty calling in from Woodville, Texas. Rusty, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts. Hello, Rusty. Rusty going once.
Twice.
Rusty going twice. And I'm going to put him on hold. Maybe he's in a bad cell. Maybe he stepped away from the phone to, I don't know, go to the bathroom or something. We'll try Rusty again in a couple of minutes. But sort of shifting focus from the DOJ demanding information to private companies taking action against some of the white supremacists. A story from the LA Times. Apple, Cloudflare, and PayPal have joined the parade of companies cutting off services to white nationalists after at least one anti-racist counter-protester was killed and others wounded in Charlottesville, Virginia last weekend.
I was going to just stir the pot here and say that as I watch Antifa in these various demonstrations, they certainly seem very anti-white. You know, I'm not defending.
I think I remember watching some live stream footage where I heard like racist comments from the Antifa side, watching live stream of what was going on in Charlottesville.
Yeah, white is wrong. I've heard.
I also heard the N-word from the other side, so it's
right.
like.
But I guess my point is the story starts off by saying that the protesters, the Antifa side, are anti-racist, and I kind of take that with a grain of salt. I think it's racism on both sides. But please, Daryl, continue.
In statements circulated among employees and published online, the companies condemned hate groups and distanced themselves from President Trump's assertion that some very fine people were among the torch-carrying white supremacists in Charlottesville and that both sides were to blame for the violence. Regarding the torch-carrying people, one of the funniest terms that I saw recently was Tiki Torch Taliban.
Now, and to be fair, they do say like the torch-carrying white supremacist. Doesn't that bring up this? The sentence is supposed to make you. It's supposed to remind you of like a lynch mob. In reality, it was a lot of guys carrying tiki torches.
Right.
I like that Facebook meme that says like white nationalists protecting Americans from mosquitoes since 2017.
Yeah.
We defend through our citronella.
I'm not even going to lie. Actually, it was 2 days ago. I helped some friends move into their new house and we were sitting around the fire and I got bit by a mosquito and I had that thought like, man, we should go get some tiki torches. And I'm like, but I don't know. I don't want to get labeled racist walking out of Home Depot with the tiki torch.
The tiki torch, you know, that Polynesian invention.
Right?
The story here from the LA Times continues. The moves come as corporations scramble to erase any perception that they condemn white supremacists, at least partially motivated by fear of tarnishing their brands. Apple CEO Tim Cook said in a Wednesday memo to employees that was posted on BuzzFeed, "We must not witness or permit such hatred and bigotry in our country, and we must be unequivocal about it. This is not about the left or the right, conservative or liberal. It's about human decency and morality. I disagree with the president and others who believe that there is a moral equivalence between white supremacists and Nazis and those who oppose them by standing up for human rights."
But see, this is the crazy thing, right? This is what I don't agree that the left and the media I see doing is like, Trump has said so much stuff that I don't agree with, stuff that's just so messed up that you don't have to insinuate he said stuff that he didn't because it just hurts your cause.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, Trump never once said he supports white supremacy or Nazis, period. He's made outrageous comments anyway about building walls and, you know, his views on immigration and all these other things. You don't have to make stuff up about him for him to, you know, come off as who he is, you know what I mean? And I really
He gives you all the material.
Exactly. So what the left needs to stop doing is being like, oh, well, he's sympathizing, he's doing this, da, da, da. Like, just hold him accountable for what he actually does instead of putting words in his mouth that he didn't say.
Now, and my issue that I take with a lot of the reporting, and again, I'm not on either side. I think they're both
I voted for
behaving,
Gary Johnson. So.
They're both behaving despicably, but, you know, you are making Antifa out to be sort of the heroes in every one of these things that they show up to. And
no, they're not.
And they're not. They're violent.
I remember on Ford's live stream, he was literally, and Ford's a journalist. He's independent, unbiased, you know, just kind of like, right, just there to report what happens. And there's Antifa and Black Lives Matter people literally urinating in bottles and hawking it over into the other side. Like, that is just disgusting human behavior. Like, I don't care, you know, what views somebody holds that you don't like or that it offends you. It doesn't give you the right to throw urine on people. Like, that is nasty.
So do you think Trump was right in saying there were bad people on both sides?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think he was right in saying that there were some very fine people among the Tiki Torch Taliban?
Maybe. I have no idea. You know, I wasn't there. I don't know who was there.
You know,
I know one person that was
there's
there.
more from this article, but let's try Rusty again. Rusty, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, hopefully y'all can hear me now. I was just wanting to get y'all's opinions on Christopher Cantwell, kind of his whole situation. I guess he's possibly going to be charged with felony. for, I guess, disbursement, unlawful disbursement of gas using that tear gas, or not tear gas, pepper spray.
All I know is I saw a headline that apparently there's an FBI warrant. I was not able to see what the warrant was for, and I think at least one source that I went to said that he is preparing to turn himself in, but I've also heard that he's not going to do it on the weekend, that he might possibly wait until Monday morning.
My thoughts on it are, I think kind of Chris Cantwell dug his own grave. I mean, he can, even though like maybe the mace thing is like a stupid charge considering everybody there was macing each other. I just think some of the things that I saw that he posted on Facebook was pretty bad.
Well, you can't see those posts anymore because his Facebook account has been taken down. His YouTube account has been taken down. His OkCupid profile has been taken down. His
he really
PayPal
made a
account
nasty
has been
comment
suspended.
about the chick that Heather, what was her last name? The one that passed away. That got
the one that got run over by the car.
Yeah,
Meyer,
he made some really nasty comment on his Facebook about
that. Does not surprise me. He tends
basically
to make
being
really
like,
nasty comments.
They think we're nothing. Look how many of them we put in the morgue and in the hospitals and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what? Like, how are you even like talking like that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The guy's got some serious mental health issues.
Yeah, and to be clear, the issues that or the charges that he's being brought up on, officials from the Virginia Commonwealth Attorney General's office said Thursday the Cantwells wanted for illegal use of gases and injury by caustic agent or explosive. Both are felony charges.
Rusty, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. More from these companies that are taking actions against untowardly people.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now, earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And, you know, with companies taking away accounts from white nationalists and other people, you know, they're needing ways to wind up transacting financially. And while I'm not necessarily encouraging white nationalists to look into cryptocurrency, it is a way to wind up getting around the current banking system.
Jeez.
And Dash is one of those platforms. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help anyone manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, easy, the fees are low, and transactions are fast and can be confirmed instantly in some cases. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash, so go right now to dash.org and find out why. Talking about some of the businesses that have wound up closing accounts of some of the white nationalists that took part in the violent protest in Charlottesville, Virginia last weekend. One of those companies, Apple, had a release, a memo that was posted on BuzzFeed from CEO Tim Cook, who said that we must not witness or permit such hate and bigotry in this country, and we must be unequivocal about it. The company also disabled Apple Pay support to several websites that were selling apparel with white nationalist and Nazi themes. Cloudflare, a web service provider whose service shields sites from cyber attacks, has prided itself on its neutrality and unwavering commitment to free speech, standing firm in 2013 when it was accused of supporting terrorism because it provided service to a Chechen news site, that being a news site from Chechnya, which is a separatist area in Russia. But events of the past weekend proved too much for the tech firm, and they terminated the account of neo-Nazi website Daily Stormer. It was the third blow for the site. GoDaddy and Google also canceled the Daily Stormer's domains earlier in the week after the site mocked Heather Heyer, the counter-protester who was killed in Charlottesville. Cloudflare CEO Matthew Prince said Cloudflare's terms of service gave it the right to terminate users at its sole discretion, adding, "I'd had enough." He wrote in a blog post that the tipping point was when the Daily Stormer made the claim that we, Cloudflare were secretly supporters of their ideology. He said, "We could not remain neutral after those claims of secret support." Prince's reasoning was personal. He said in an email to employees that the decision was his alone. But in recent days, other tech companies have booted white supremacists from their services, citing violations of terms of service. Shortly before the alt-right rally in Charlottesville last weekend, Airbnb banned users who sought to book lodging on its platform so that they could participate in the demonstration.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, what if people were trying to use Airbnb to go there to counter-protest?
Well, see, this raises the question
that
I just had, and that's like, how can even it, like, especially in the age of social media where there's so much misinformation out there that even after the Charlottesville event, right, there's this one website that published the name of somebody else as being the driver of this car. Now, this person, like in that short amount of time before the real driver was released, this one person got death threats and was like, I wasn't there. I was 1,000 miles away. He got death threats from his family. And it's like that right there just goes to show you how the media itself, especially a mainstream media that, you know, is a pretty big monopoly on there, can be used as a political weapon, you know, like to destroy not just a single person, but a single movement. Because already CNN, I noticed the other day, released an article claiming that there were these 6 or 7 white supremacist rallies popping up across the country, one of which was the free speech rally that was organized in Boston for this Saturday. Now, there was another free speech rally a few months ago that never made the news, that there was no issues with it. Right? But this one is an issue because of the article CNN put out. Once that bait is out there from one article, right? And the whole guilty by association thing. So if you have one speaker that was down in, you know, Charlottesville, or if you have, do you know what I mean? The whole guilty by association
when you invite white supremacists to your free speech rally, don't be surprised when people wind up saying that your free speech rally is a white nationalist rally.
Okay, well, when you... Okay, well, I mean,
saying.
The alleged white supremacist that was invited to this particular rally apparently happens to have 4 Hispanic children. So, I mean,
he's also called for, you know, like white separatism. So, you know, he says things on both
what is
sides.
White separatism, though? See, this is what this is the conversation we need to have right now, right? Like, is it like, okay, is separatism and segregation, like if you have a fan club, right? And you want to say, well, I only want, you know, white members, whatever. Like, yeah, other people are going to take offense to that. But I mean, you have the same thing for like women and gays and, you know what I mean? So if they want to have their little white boy clique.
I've never heard anybody calling for a women's nation. I've heard people calling for a white nation.
I'm saying like private clubs and stuff like that. Does it automatically make white men racist if they want to have a club only for white men? But like, what about black clubs that are only for black people? Why are, like, if they don't let white members become part of their clubs, are they racist towards white people?
I think when we talk about private clubs, that's fine. What I think the difference is in what the some in the alt-right and this movement.
Well, I don't see
really
anybody in the alt-right going around slaughtering black people.
No, but what I do hear is they need to be forcibly removed.
I hear people saying things that offend other people.
Taking that separatist approach and saying if they won't voluntarily go somewhere else, then we need to physically move them. You know, the helicopter ride and stuff like that.
Who's saying this, though?
People like the
they were down there
Chris
protesting
Cantwell.
a statue. They weren't saying we need to, you know, put all black people in camps or anything like that. Like, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know if today's movement, I can't speak to it because I'm not involved in it. But what I hear,
watched the Vice documentary, the Vice mini documentary, there were chants of Jews will not replace us, and some other slang terms, go home. So yes, they were calling for, you know, certain people to not be there. There were quotes, and I don't have them in front of me, but there were quotes from Chris Cantwell about wanting a white nation.
Right.
So yes, there are people that were involved in this that are most definitely calling for a white nation.
Well, and the history of that goes back many, many years. This is
yeah,
not
but
a
are
new
we
thing.
allowed to say that, we want to see the federal government abolished? You know what I mean? Like does it mean I'm going to...
Well, apparently the president says this too. Wait, I have the wrong president. I'm thinking of Abraham Lincoln, who recommended that we ship all blacks, all former slaves, to Liberia in Africa.
Right.
Wait, who said this?
Abraham Lincoln.
I don't recall reading this.
Well,
government-induced.
Please do check it out. That was his
education.
solution to the racial issue and to the slavery issue was, you know what, let's just send all those people to Africa and they can have their own colony and they can live free over there.
Find the transcripts of the Lincoln-Douglas debates. You will find some absolutely horrible
I want to
statements.
try not to do what everyone else is doing, which is living in the past. Like in the present right now, what we have is this controversy going on. And my thing is, how do we fix it? How do we get America back to, being everyone identifying and having common ground?
My point is there is the idea that this is somehow new is not at all true. I mean, and the idea that certain types of people wish to live with people of their own kind is not something that's new. And it is frequently done naturally. That's why you have in Boston, I'm sure there's Irish neighborhoods and Italian neighborhoods where people voluntarily segregated themselves.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Okay, but I'm saying if anybody listening, right, because we have this rally coming up in Boston where there could potentially be violence again, and we have people that are, quote unquote, be guilty by association, and I'm not just talking, apparently the organizers of this, all right, we'll continue, event uninvited Augustus. But still, other members of the event, because the bait was already put out there by the media,
right. Now
other people are still getting harassed that had nothing to do with him being brought there.
That's all it's going to be about, of course.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE plus more on these private companies saying you violated our terms of service.
Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. For an investment of as low as $129, you can have a lifetime mining contract and support the Bitcoin network. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. It's the most profitable pool for miners, paying 120% of the block reward. That's pool.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, August 17th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.07 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,285 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 5.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,424. Antiwar.com reports reckless speculation about a North Korean military attack on the U.S. island territory of Guam has continued despite North Korea making clear the missile test fire they were designing only meant to send missiles to the waters off the coast of Guam. Now, even that looks unlikely, though some early reports suggested North Korea was likely to move forward with the test as soon as the plan was finished. The plans were never approved by Kim Jong-un, and now the plans are finished and Kim is still not acting. State media suggest Kim is holding back the possibility of such tests as a response to future U.S. acts, but that is already leading to Western media speculation that Kim is backing down for fear of U.S. retaliation. Whatever the reason, the threat to Guam was clearly overstated, and the fact that missiles aren't hitting the water around the island presents a golden opportunity for both sides to back away from the military confrontation they both seemed escalating towards last week and towards serious diplomacy. Embracing this opportunity may be difficult for the Trump administration as they've rejected previous diplomatic overtures originating from China and South Korea, primarily on the grounds that they're diplomatic in nature. The first impulse of many in the administration will likely to be claim victory over North Korea if the missiles aren't launched, which in turn will provoke North Korea into feeling they have to fire them just to avoid showing weakness, particularly as the U.S. advances towards another military exercise in South Korea. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports computer science students at the University of Washington have found a way to remotely hack into people's personal devices such as cell phones and smart TVs to track individual movement, raising serious security concerns, according to a report by the university. The hacking method uses Covert Band, a software program the students created, which essentially turns smart devices into sonar systems. Once hacked into a device, Covert Band plays repeating pulses that are able to track a person's movement and location, similar to how a submarine sonar device works. According to a report from the University of Washington, Covert Band can also decipher what types of movement a person is making, including pumping arms, jumping, and supine pelvic tilts. In March, WikiLeaks released documents that allege the CIA currently has methods of hacking into smart devices. The UW Students Report argues that the ability to do so is not just in the realm of high-level government intelligence operatives. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the city of Baltimore removed 4 Confederate monuments before dawn on Wednesday, working quickly so the city could avoid protests like the one originating by white nationalists that turned deadly in Charlottesville, Virginia over the weekend. The statues, including one of General Robert E. Lee and another of General Thomas Stonewall Jackson, were taken off their bases in Wyman Park Dell beside the Baltimore Museum of Art and carried away on a flatbed truck. Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh said that she and City Council decided to remove the monuments quickly and quietly. In Los Angeles on Wednesday, the United Daughters of the Confederacy asked the Hollywood Forever Cemetery to remove a monument that honored Confederate veterans. Cemetery spokesman Theodore Hovey said the organization made the request after hundreds of people demanded the monument, erected in 1925, be taken away. In Birmingham, Alabama, Mayor William Bell ordered workers on Tuesday to obscure a Confederate monument in a city park using wooden boards. The state attorney general, Stephen Marshall, sued the city in response, saying the barriers broke a state law passed in May that banned local governments from moving or altering historical monuments that have been on public property for more than 40 years. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following the conclusion of yet another day marked by a litany of tedious and unavoidable realities, The Onion spoke with sociologist Dr. Timothy Coghill, who told reporters that the nation would be forced to go through all of it again tomorrow.
As our projections demonstrate, tomorrow, like today, every man, woman, and child in America will wake up and do it all again. All of it, including traffic, the workday, bad coffee, your kid's soccer game, laundry, the struggling economy.
Statistical evidence also showed that the nation would once again endure traumatic childhood memories, Twitter, anxiety, poverty, consumerism, rampant abuses of the legal system,
Joint pain, racial inequality, global warming, the steady erosion of civil liberties, violence, loneliness, disease, unresolved intimacy issues, the ravages of age, hunger, sexual frustration, existential dread, the looming specter of death.
For more on this unending story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Kicking off our number 3 in studio, it's Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we're talking about some of the companies that have suspended services. Some of them temporarily, possibly. Some of them forever for people that might possibly be white supremacists.
Or might
Some
not
of them
be.
have said that they are. And that's sort of the question, because where we left off in the article from LA Times in the last hour was that Airbnb issued a statement saying that they would not allow people that were going to Charlottesville, Virginia last weekend to participate in the demonstration. They were not allowing them to reserve rooms through Airbnb. And Chris, you had asked a question of how did they know if the person was showing up for the Nazi side of it, or if they were showing up for the anti-Nazi side. Airbnb issued a statement that if they discovered that someone was using the platform to do something, quote, that would be antithetical to the Airbnb community commitment, it would seek to take appropriate action, including, as in this case, removing them from the platform.
Yeah. So again, and I hold no love for the Antifa side. I hold no love for the white supremacy side. But is Airbnb being equal to both sides, or are they saying that, we don't like the white supremacy stuff, but we're okay with Antifa being violent towards white people?
Right.
That's
my thing is proof. I mean, and not just that, right? What if they're going to end up not letting somebody come that, wasn't affiliated with it? Maybe they're just a random person.
Go see their grandma.
What I mean? And they happen to show up with a, Constitution sticker on their car. Nope, sorry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Their last name's White and their handle is White for Life or something like that.
Yeah. So, but what I was saying earlier about this Boston rally on Saturday, I had a friend that I've known for a while. He's actually a delegate at the Libertarian National Convention, and really good guy. He's not racist at all. He's not a white supremacist. He's more of just a smaller government type guy. I guess he was invited to speak at this event, and he probably didn't even know who the other speakers were. All he knew was he was invited to speak at a quote-unquote free speech rally.
Right.
Not a white supremacist rally, not a KKK rally, not a, you know what I mean, anything like that. That's all he was known. He was invited as a speaker. Whoever organized the event made a flyer, and it had his name on it along with the other speakers. Because of that flyer, his job fired him on Sunday.
Jeez.
And he's refused now. And it was ironic because I'm going down to the rally to live stream as a journalist there for news to share, and he had agreed to give me a little bit of an interview, as to what is some of his thoughts or whatever. And he was actually going to do a moment of silence for Charlottesville and everything.
Right.
He's a really stand-up guy. Lost his job now all because of this. And it's this is, for me, is what's sad. You know what I mean? That the company just didn't want, because his name was on that flyer, and the mob mentality of, I hate to say it, but of the left right now, and just any people on social media, it's so important not to jump on bandwagons, especially with stuff like this, free your freaking mind, And
they do. Everybody does, and it's an emotional issue. I get that. It's horrific. The idea that we must physically separate races, that I find it so repugnant. It's beyond words. It's beyond my own comprehension. But also, when Antifa gets out there and says, we don't like this person's speech, Ann Coulter or somebody, far to the right, and they're going to go to a mostly liberal school, and Antifa goes out there, burns cars, destroys property, and they do it until the point where the whoever is sponsoring it just says, enough. We can't afford the damage that this is bringing. We can't guarantee people's safety. Well, that's a group of people shutting down free speech. So to me, groups like Antifa and to some extent Black Lives Matter, on one side, you have on the other side the alt-right, the white supremacist group that say, we don't want these things to happen and we don't like your speech, so we're going to shout you down. It's just, it's despicable.
And then you have people from both sides that are basically playing the victim of, see, they don't want me to speak. Look what they did to silence me. That just means that what I have to say is so important.
It just goes back and forth. It was like, the Antifa throwing bottles of urine over there. It's like, how is that helping your cause?
Right.
How?
And
you know what I mean? Now you're going to have these Nazis that you don't like, where their behavior could have gotten them in trouble with society, just them being themselves, right? Because people are inherently good and they're not racist. We all get along. We all, share our communities. But you hurtling a bottle of urine over into their free speech rally is just going to make them say, look how repulsive these people are. This is why we don't like them. You know what I mean? And you're giving them ammunition.
It's both sides throwing gasoline onto the fire.
Yeah, and I feel like
blowing
the parent,
up and,
and then you've got the one side saying, well, we only threw gas on the fire because they did.
Like I envision this, like the two radicals from both sides, right? Is like two little kids fighting, right? And you're the mom, and you've got like your hand on each of their forehead, and they're both trying to like run at each other, and you're like, no.
Right.
That's how I feel right now.
The difference in this, and I understand your analogy, the difference here is Antifa is very clear about they are not going to be the quiet, silent protesters. They're going to come armed. They speak about that. You've got the Redneck Revolt, another group far to the left that is
they're the
very
kid
much
that
pro-gun.
They're the two children, right? They're the one kid that wants to stab their sibling.
Yeah, but we have two groups that are potentially well armed,
right?
Potentially not afraid to use that, at least in their rhetoric. And the last thing I want to see is innocent people get killed over something as ridiculous as the idea of separatism or racism.
Right, and
and that brings up the question: how do we put an end to this? Do you know what I mean? Like the controversy, like what steps as a people, as a community, can we take to start putting out these fires that are starting?
I think I think both sides need to denounce their own, if you will say your own. I think if there were more statements from the mainstream left denouncing the far left, denouncing Antifa and some of the violence that's been caused with them, and the right consistently denouncing the alt-right, the white supremacists and things like that.
But if they do, how do they get the platform to where enough hear it? You know what I mean? And it brings me back to the mainstream media. And I don't think the mainstream media is doing enough right now.
We are talking about very, very small fringes of society. When we talk about the sheer numbers, we're not talking about large groups. I think there's a lot more people that just don't want to have it going on because they fall basically in the middle. They're left of middle, they're right of middle, but they're still central. That's pretty much it. They're the average American, and they're tired of it.
Libertarians often say there will be market solutions. And right now we're seeing some market solutions to where you have PayPal shutting down service to people. You have GoDaddy, Google, who was the other, Cloudflare shutting down services to people. And these are market solutions to where companies are saying, hey, if you want to use our services, here are the terms that you need to abide by. And if you don't abide by these terms, then we will not provide you service.
And here's my issue with that is it's being applied to the far right, which is good because I quite frankly, I support the companies that do that. And companies should be able to judge their customers and decide whether they want to deal with them or not. that's fine. But it's driving me nuts that it seems to be somewhat lopsided. It is going after the violent or violent speaking people on the right, but I don't see much repercussion towards the left. I wish one of these companies would come out and say, you know what, members of Antifa, you were wrong.
If you condemn violence, condemn all violence, not just violence from one group over another.
Right. And more on that, plus your calls and thoughts. Welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
For P150, P150GA, P150NY, P150OK, P150TN, C250A, C250E, C250Q. Not available in all states. If New York or Colorado, call for a similar offer.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company, 1-800-972-1059. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away, so you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. Call now for a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-972-1059. That's 1-800-972-1059. 1-800-972-1059.
Do you trust our economy? How about our banking system? Our president has stated we are sitting on a bubble right now, and that when the Fed raises interest rates, bad things are going to happen. Well, the Fed is raising rates here and now. There has never been a better time to turn your IRA or 401k into physical gold or silver with GSI Exchange. Call 833-GSI-GOLD. GSI Exchange can make this happen fast, and it's money you control, not the big banks. 833-GSI-GOLD. Ask about our bank failure survival guide and learn how your qualified IRA transfer can get you $1,500 in free physical gold or silver delivered right to your home. GSI Exchange has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call GSI Exchange at 833-GSI-GOLD. That's 833-474-4653. Or visit us on the web at gsi.gold.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about some of these tech companies that have suspended accounts of some of the people that were protesting on the side of the Nazis. There's arguments about whether or not those individuals were Nazis, whether or not they were white nationalists, and why did some of these companies wind up go ahead and suspend those accounts. Shifting gears, there's an article from CNBC where they reached out to some of the tech CEOs asking why did it take the violence in Charlottesville to get them to actually take a stand against hate groups. We'll dig into that in just a moment. The we in studio tonight is Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And the internet has allowed an incredible amount of innovation in clothing and backpacks. You can see all kinds of ads for new or imagined products that propose to solve different problems, some minor, some life-saving. But how many stop bullets? Mark Edge recently got a vest from bulletblocker.com. This is a company founded by a former Army Ranger and firearms instructor with a goal of making backpacks for kids to protect them in case of a school shooting. Now they have a huge selection of clothing, backpacks, briefcases, all that could save your life. The products are attractive and well-made right here in the United States. And you need to have a nice jacket. You might as well get one that stops bullets. Get something for the family as well. This isn't the kind of thing you get a second chance at. Bulletblocker.com. If the lives in your family are priceless, protect them at bulletblocker.com. So jumping into the article here, again from CNBC, they report it took bloodshed in Charlottesville to get tech companies to do what civil rights groups have been calling for years. Take a firmer stand against accounts used to promote hate and violence. In the wake of the deadly clash at a white nationalist rally last weekend in Virginia, major companies such as Google, Facebook, and PayPal are banishing a growing cadre of extremist groups and individuals for violating terms of service. What took so long? For one thing, tech companies have long seen themselves as bastions of free expression. But the Charlottesville rally seemed to have a sobering effect. It showed how easily technology can be used to organize and finance such events, and how extreme views online can translate into violence offline. Rashad Robinson, executive director of Color of Change, an online racial justice group, said there's a difference between freedom of speech and what happened in Charlottesville. The battle of ideas is different than people who show up with guns to terrorize communities. Tech companies are in a bind. On the one hand, they want to be as open as possible so that they can show ads to as many people as possible, provide their service to as many people as possible, etc. On the other, some of these users can turn out to be white supremacists, terrorists, or worse. Keegan Hanks, analyst at the Southern Poverty Law Center's Intelligence Project, said his group has been trying for more than a year to get Facebook and PayPal to shut down these accounts. Even now, he said the two companies are taking action only in the most extreme cases. Hanks, whose center allegedly monitors hate groups and extremism, said they have policies against violence, racism, harassment. The problem is that there has been no enforcement. Now, I'm going to pause here to say that the Southern Poverty Law Center likes to use a very broad brush when painting extremist groups.
Oh, yeah.
To where they will say anyone who is opposed to the Federal Reserve is part of an extremist group, because they wind up, using some mental gymnastics to say that, well, if you oppose the Federal Reserve, then you must be anti-Semitic because one of the first people that was the chairman of the Federal Reserve was a Jewish guy.
Right.
Well, listen to this. I just sorry, it's kind of a little bit off topic, but John Medler is the guy organizing the rally on Saturday.
Never heard of him.
Okay, well, apparently he's extended an invitation to Black Lives Matter Boston to ask if they'd like to have a speaker at the event. So I thought that's actually the right way to address if you don't like what somebody's saying, you know what I mean? Like, go and then speak. But he says it's up to them if they choose to accept, and they have every right to counter-protest our other speakers. That is, after all, free speech.
Right. So interesting, going to the SPLC website, because I was just curious, is Antifa listed as a hate group, as a violent group, as anti-government, as anything? No.
No?
Not at all.
Right. And again, that's
but
showing
the alt-right is?
Oh, pretty much the extremist files that they keep on SPLC is, it breaks down into a couple different areas. There's either, here they are, ideologies.
They have patriot groups.
Alternate right, Phineas priesthood, anti-government movement, and sovereign citizens.
Does that mean us?
So,
well, no,
is that under their patriot group or under their hate group? Or are those subheaders of something else?
When they say ideologies, they list a lot, but those are the four that they lead off with.
Okay.
Anti-government. What else did I say?
Because I know that they annually or every 2 years sometimes put out the list of the quote-unquote patriot movement.
Sure.
Where they say, just because you're on this list doesn't mean that you're necessarily violent or racist, but some of the people that are members of these groups are violent and racist.
Right.
And then they have the list of hate groups that are specifically things that they have identified as violent, racist groups.
Yeah, I think the only groups that they really track that one could say aren't directed towards more traditionally white groups would be black separatists. They do track black separatist groups. But the rest of it is, Holocaust deniers, Ku Klux Klan, neo-Confederate, neo-Nazi, Phineas priesthood, racist skinhead, radical traditional Catholicism, sovereign citizens, white nationalists. It's more along the lines of, I've always kind of felt this, but more anti-right.
More
SPLC is
more quote-unquote conservative groups.
Yes.
And I think, this might just be my opinion, but I feel like the more right, generally speaking, it tends to be people that are for smaller government. You know what I mean? Like, the farther right you go, the less government I always used to imagine people wanted. And then the far more left you went, like the more government people would
That's
want.
if you're buying into, the false left-right paradigm, but there's also...
I think the majority of people do, though. That's the thing.
Right, but there's also people that, might say they're for smaller government, but we need to increase the military budget and put a border on the wall. I want smaller government for this, but let's grow it everywhere else.
And you're not going to touch Social Security or Medicaid or Medicare.
This is Free Talk Live. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Tyler, time to go for our family walk.
Just let me nap a little longer.
You promised we'd get more active.
I know. How come you're so ready to go?
It's Superberry's Aronia berries.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness.
Where'd you get them?
I ordered them from superberries.com/radio, and right now we can get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus, we can save $4 at checkout.
I can't wait to try them. I'll get the dog.
I'll get the kids.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com.
You want to save money in a place that gives you growth, control, and certainty without stock market risk or tax risk, and you want guarantees and you want it all tax-free. That's a tall order. But you can get all of that with properly designed participating whole life insurance. Most people think life insurance pays after you're dead. That's true. But you can have tax-free access to use your life insurance while you're alive. Get the free book to find out how. Call 702-660-7000.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. In studio, it's Daryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we're talking about, some of the companies, the tech companies, Google, PayPal, Apple, OkCupid, that have suspended services to certain white supremacists or alleged, because we don't know the names of everybody that has had services suspended. And I'm guessing that, there might be some kind of appeals process to where if somebody feels that their account was suspended wrongly, I'm not entirely positive, but article from CNBC, they're looking at the reasons why it took violence to wind up getting tech companies to respond and actually comply with the terms of service that they have, saying that they stand against extreme violence. But let's actually pause from this and shift gears, if you will, and let's go to Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I just want to mention that our traffic fatalities actually went down in New Mexico.
Good.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah. Well, the DWI rate also went down by 16%. And so, and I have a reason behind it. My reasoning is that I think about 70,000 people have moved out of our state. So if there's less people, less cars driving, the less collisions.
So if you just keep raising all of the taxes, then all of the people will move out of New Mexico, and then there's no cars, and nobody winds up getting into an accident.
It
Sarah,
sounds
thank you
like a perfect
for
solution.
the call.
Aw.
Let's go to Patrick calling in from Bullhead City, Arizona. Patrick, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, here, guys, this is sort of a whimsical solution to this statue problem. What you do is you get both sides in a big auditorium like a convention center.
Uh-huh.
Then what you do is you take all the monuments that tick off the one side, and you take all the monuments that tick off the other side, and they do an even trade.
Or you just
I'll give you a
auction them off.
For a Martin Luther King Boulevard, and you get it to where they even trade.
So I'll trade you my Jefferson Davis statue for your Martin Luther King statue.
Well, see, this is what people don't realize.
I thought you were going to go like all, Mad Max Thunderdome, and it would just be a battle to the end, which I'm not saying I'd entertain the thought, but...
Well, here's the question that I've not heard very many people even ask, and most people on this should there be monuments question, they're just asking the question of should the monuments exist? Well, we need to ask who paid for these monuments. Where are these monuments located? Are there monuments on private property? Are the monuments on public property? If they're on public property, then were they donated to the government entity, as a lot of them were?
Sure, I'm just waiting for the Statue of Liberty to get attacked.
So we aren't really debating this from the right starting point.
Yeah. Well,
no, there is no right starting point here. This is just all raw emotion. This is just hate from left and from right.
I think some people that don't even...
No sense trying to make sense out of it.
Some people that don't even have any clue as to the history of anything are probably just jumping on the bandwagon now because it's been in the news and desecrating any statue they walk by at this point, because it's all over the country now. Vandalists are just going around destroying statues. And it's right. Sad because if you think about it, most of them are probably on public property. They're probably paid for with tax dollars. So a better solution, in my opinion, right, would be like the one in Charlottesville, for example. If the town voted to take it down, I read that it was going to cost taxpayers an additional $700,000 just to remove the thing, right? So why not auction it off to the highest bidder, maybe a museum or something, and they can pay to take it down, and then use the money to invest in something else. Schools, feeding the homeless, anything.
Or an adopt a statue program. I will. I'll take that statue and I'll go put it in my front yard.
But these people that are going around right now vandalizing all the things are making them completely worthless. You know what I mean? Where that could otherwise be money in that you could spend on food to feed your local homeless. So now you should feel like a jerk for going and tipping over, statues. And personally, I think all these people going around vandalizing them should be arrested and put in jail. It's just my opinion.
Right. But these are a lot of the same people that were, all up in arms over Al-Qaeda destroying monuments in the Middle East. Do you remember all that?
I do, and I've got thoughts on that. But Patrick, do you have any more thoughts here?
Yeah, I just was thinking, the stupidity of what's going on and everything. That maybe they can look across the board and see how stupid the whole situation is, and maybe come to hate's going to be there no matter what you do about it. You can't do anything about it, but maybe they'll just realize how petty this whole situation is, and maybe focus in on the initial problem. And the problem is it's them. It's nobody else. It's the people that have that hate in their heart,
Right.
Yep.
And that's the sad part about it. But I just thought that would be whimsical. They could sell that on TV. That would be a pay-per-view event.
Patrick, thank you for the call. So, yeah, Chris, I've seen the video comparison floating around on social media where it says, this is what ISIS is doing, and this is what, Antifa and this other group.
I hadn't seen that.
And, well, it's a false comparison because what's going on in Syria and parts of Iraq where ISIS is going in, they're going into museums and destroying things that were private property.
In some cases, or public property when we're talking about, and I'm not talking about ISIS, I'm talking about Al-Qaeda. I guess maybe it was in Afghanistan or somewhere there were centuries-old huge Buddhist statues. I'm digging for the story, see if I can find it. But they were just destroyed because they felt it was an affront against their religion, and so these things have to be destroyed. This was really in the heat of the Gulf War.
Okay, the videos that I've seen are more recent, where it's
and
the ISIS groups going into museums and toppling over, like the marble statues. And again, it's not a correct comparison because one, you have privately owned stuff in museums, and the other is things that are on public property, a lot of which may have been paid for with taxpayer dollars. We don't really know on each and every one of these statues. There was a statue monument in Los Angeles that was donated to a cemetery by the Daughters of the Confederacy, and they have asked the cemetery to remove that. They, because there's been a lot of backlash, they said, we gave you this statue, we want it back.
Right. The story I was thinking of, this goes back to really the early days of, this was March 11th, 2001, so pre 9/11. But Afghan's ruling Taliban has blown up 2 giant Buddha statues in defiance of international efforts to save them. So that was a Taliban move even prior to Al-Qaeda, and I'm pretty sure Al-Qaeda did some of the same. These were 53-meter or 175-foot high statues that were blown up by the Taliban. So
and then you get into the complete other question about whether or not the statue is there as some kind of piece of art. Is it there as just, here is a reminder of what happened, or is it a memorial of remember this and look up to it and cast reverence upon the symbolism here? More on this, plus your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
Ooh, get the stinky dog away from me. DINOVITE.com.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews, here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days free at buysellmakeoffer.com.
The American robin heralds the beginning of spring in temperate climates across North America. Its red breast makes it easily identifiable as the most disturbingly efficient murderer in the animal kingdom. Here, we see a robin rip a worm out of the ground with no moral hesitation whatsoever. This atrocity is but one in a series of cold-blooded murders this bird will commit in a single day. Although feces-fueled worms are themselves one of the most disgusting of all animals, the robin's cruelty remains indefensible. Some apologists might argue that robins need to eat worms to survive, but worms are capable of regeneration. So robins could satiate themselves on fractions of individual worms and leave the rest. But it does not. Unequivocal evidence of the robin's bloodlust.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now. We'll get back to the phones here in just a second. But first, I want to make sure that I tell you about, well, what I think is the best pillow. And if you don't agree and you try it, you've got 60 days that you can try it risk-free. I'm talking about My Pillow. It's designed to fit to the shape of your body, hold your neck in the proper position. I've been using this thing for about a year and a half now, and it's the best pillow I've ever had. When I go to the New Hampshire Cannabis Freedom Festival next weekend, you better believe I'm taking My Pillow with me. It's just that good. And unlike a regular pillow that winds up collecting dirt and dead skin over the years, you can actually take your My Pillow, throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and still use it for something other than kindling. Go to mypillow.com. Use code FTL to get your very own My Pillow at half price, or get a second pillow free of charge. And remember, if you don't like it for some reason in the first 60 days, you get your money back. And the pillow itself is guaranteed to last 10 years. That's mypillow.com, code FTL. Let's go to Chris calling in from Summerville, Alabama, listening to 800 AM WBHP. Chris, you're on Free Talk Live with Daryl, Heather, and another Chris. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey, I appreciate your forum tonight. Your analysis usually is pretty spot on. You're one of the only talk stations I will listen to. The rest of the time it's modern rock or classic rock. I'm sick of the pundits. But a little bit of insight, too, on how funds were raised to put up the Confederate monuments, especially the ones like was toppled in Durham, North Carolina. That was just a generic Confederate soldier on top of it, honoring the soldiers from that county. back around the turn of the century, maybe the 1880s at the latest, all the way through 1920, 25, when a proposal to put a monument up to the soldiers from that county and state was put out, it was usually through subscription. You'd have little old ladies, family members, whatever, send as low as a nickel, maybe $1. Over the period of 5 years, enough funds were raised to have the bronze statue cast, designed and cast, and then put up. It wasn't something that the state funded. At the time, to 1920, the states did not have the money.
Right.
Due to Reconstruction, good or bad, you could go to the national parks, and like Gettysburg, that's one close to you that's a major battle. There's not much state money involved in the monuments there, even on the Union side. It was done, you'll see like the Pennsylvania monument for Union soldiers there. State of Pennsylvania, did fund a little of it, but most of the Pennsylvania troops and their families even, I'm talking Union now,
right,
sent in subscriptions. So there's some state funding, but on the Confederate side, mostly nickels, dimes, quarters, and dollars over a period of years to get them up.
I didn't know that.
It's interesting.
Another thing, too, during the, not that we're going to refight and debate war, especially that one, but most of the fellows down here, when Lincoln's call for 75,000 volunteers to rise up and invade the South hit, that's when your enlistments really started kicking down here. Until then, like Tennessee, they had 2 votes for secession and voted it down. But when that invasion threat hit, okay, boom, game on.
Right.
All right. If you were a young male, 18, 19, 20 years of age, regardless of your political beliefs or whatever, your ass was going to be wearing a Confederate uniform. And they largely went unpaid, fought the war, and did sacrifice. Mississippi, one of their biggest budget items was for artificial limbs all the way into the early 1880s.
Right. And then you did have some places like Winston County, Alabama, where my family, at least the maternal side, is originally from, where Winston County actually attempted to secede from the state of Alabama because they wanted to be neutral. There's a beautiful, from a work of art standpoint, one of the most beautiful statues that I've ever seen stands outside of the county courthouse there in Winston County. They call it Dual Destiny, where the soldier is wearing half of a Union outfit and half of a Confederate outfit. And it's there as a reminder of, hey, here's what happened. We wanted to stay out of this, but both sides came in and basically conscripted whoever they could find and drug us in to fight on both sides. And there literally were brothers fighting brothers.
I think that kind of like, whenever I've walked by any statue from that time period, I've never thought like, oh yeah, let's bring back the war. I've always more or less thought like, wow, man, it's great to see that we've evolved past such like eras and stuff in history. You know what I mean? That's why we look back at history, so we can kind of appreciate like all that we've accomplished to get to where we are today in terms of how much more freedom and rights, like women's rights, and
learn where we went wrong. I mean, we have to look at that stuff. And the war between the states, over 600,000 Americans died, which makes it the bloodiest war America has ever been in. Worse than World War II? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
600,000 is a low number. That number come out in the 1880s, and they used a method to calculate and guesstimate. In other words, a wild ass guess.
Gotcha. Right.
People that I know and trust and listen to their stuff put the number more at 900,000.
I don't doubt
it. And
it.
I'm guessing that that 600,000 number might only wind up being combat deaths and not include any of the people that wound up dying from like various things of lack of food because there were embargoes,
disease,
on the port,
or civilian deaths. I don't know if that was included.
Diarrhea killed more than lead.
Right.
And that was just the way things went. But to tie this into what we all hold dear, as far as peaceful existence, being free to do things, liberty. Government F's things up. When you put government in charge of things, nothing goes right. Like the protests these past week, the government decided to stand down, didn't separate the two groups. Government screwed it up.
Yeah, I thought that was terrible. I mean, you look at how much they robbed taxpayers to get all that fancy bulletproof gear and stuff like that. And then when it came time to actually use it, they did nothing and then pushed these two. It's like a parent taking two fighting kids and sticking them in a room together with bats and whatever you want. It's like, why would you do that?
Right. Chris.
Go
ahead.
You can't trust government to do anything right. And an organization I'm with, Sons of Confederate Veterans, we're watching all of our statues around here. I mean, right now, at one local statue in Huntsville, Alabama, we've got probably 3 people on it this second.
Right.
All right. Not to cause violence, but to alert authorities, and they're armed. If they won't protect us, the citizenry can protect ourselves. Durham was stupid. That was the dumbest thing. They stood by with their hands in their pockets, had a stand-down order. If you're going to assume that responsibility to protect the public, which the Supreme Court ruled they have no obligation to, at least make some kind of effort, but no effort was done.
Right, and Chris,
be peaceful and protect yourself.
Yep, and I'll suggest that if you really want to protect that monument, you get it off of whatever public property it's on. I'm presuming it's on public property. Most of them are.
Courthouse Square, yeah.
I mean, I would start taking monuments like that you guys actually like cherish and want, and putting them in, on someone's private property. Charge a fee, make it private entry. Don't let anyone near it that you think might hurt it.
Yeah. Well, it's gone to this point too. Like the Forrest statue in Memphis, I was once an advocate for moving it to his boyhood home, which is totally private, or to Elmwood Cemetery where he once was buried, or whatever. But I could see a huge slippery slope, and we're seeing that now. They're talking removing, I think it's either Thomas Jefferson or George Washington's statue from Chicago.
Right.
And Sharpton's talking about destroying the Jefferson Memorial in D.C. It's a big slippery slope, and I'm saying, hey, let's, game on. Let's at least call our ineffective representatives in government and see what could happen.
Right.
And not necessarily take matters into our own hands, but be peaceful, do what we can as citizens. Because in the end, it's citizens helping other citizens peacefully that gets things accomplished.
Chris, thank you for the call. That's it for tonight, but don't worry, we'll be back every night as we always are. In the meantime, always online at freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws